Welcome back, and let's continue to make this table. So the viewport doesn't seem to work anymore. Doesn't really matter. So we're gonna keep on to make this table to make it look even better. I'm actually gonna have these colors instead. Maybe this could be a little bit darker. Yeah. So what I want to do next up is, well, I want this table here. Why doesn't it work? Hello. Maybe if I close it, it will work. Sometimes things doesn't work. Okay, now it works good. So we have the table here, and next thing that I want to add is, so these lines here, they are, it's easier to show in this. I have to show it here. So let's say here they are very uniform. The lines are straight, and it doesn't happen so much in the wood. So I would like to have some swiggling going on to break up this pattern to make it look more alive. And the way we'll do this is this shape here. I'm gonna add in this offset some wiggles. And the way we do this, if we just do, let's see, an UV. Okay, we need an UV tiling, this one. And we need a UV scale. So if we scale the UV, we need to scale what's happened here too. So we have this sorted out. And we're gonna have a simple noise. And we're gonna have, instead of having this hard coded, we can change this one. So we're gonna have wiggle size. We plug it in here. And the wiggle size is like 0 at the moment. So we want to change that one. We can have, let's do 50 for now. And what happens now is that this value is one single float, and it will only, so here we have 0 to 1 in X, we have 0 to 1 in I, and if we do offset with X like this, then we're only pushing it in one direction if we add a value. But we can now also subtract the value. So we want to sometimes add a value, sometimes subtract the value. And as for now, this is only a positive or 0 value. It's from 0 down here until 1. So we want to change this with a remap. Remap like this. So the input is 0 to 1. But the output is -1 to 1. So what we also want to add here is a wiggle amplitude. And the way we do this, there is more ways to do this, of course. But if we do a negate and make the vector 2. So let's say the wiggle amplitude here, we can have the mode to, this doesn't need to be strong at all, because in the UV it's very strong. So let's say it's from 0 to 0.1. And if we do negative, so the negate is on the X, as you see here. So it's, let's say we have the wiggle amp to be 0.05. So it's 0.05 negative. And then in the one value I here, we got 0.05 positive. So now you see it's very weak, but this is good because we don't want to offset it too much. So now you see here, if we do the wiggle amp and lower it, you see we get this really nice alive pattern in the wood. So you can see stuff happening here. Unfortunately, this preview is so dark, so I don't see so much. It's so good to have this main preview. I just wish it was a little bit more stronger. So if I save here, we made this, we can do this like group selection and do wiggle. This is the wiggle. Save it and go outside to this one. And now you see here that now we can do have the wiggle amplitude to add some, and the size, of course, if we can really do it a lot. Yeah, so this is how we add some wiggles to it, but I want it 50 is a good value. And then we have this, yeah, it looks nice. The reflection looks nice as well. So we're getting there. So this is super nice, but we have more stuff to do. So we have the layer 1, we have the layer 2, and we're gonna add some extra things. So I'm gonna show you. There is actually nice. So the way to look at this is that if this was a wood, we would chop it, right? And this direction is the way it grows. And sometimes you get like lines like in this fashion with different variations of the, how to say it, different strengthness in the wood. I feel I have a little bit hard to explain what I want to achieve. But if we have the blend here, and after this blend, if we do add a lerp, we're gonna add some extra things to it. So as for now, this doesn't do anything because this one is set to 0, and so this channel is showing at the most. So we're gonna have some, I'm gonna call it smudge noise. So we're gonna have this UV scale thing again. I'm gonna add it down here. But this time, first off, we're just gonna have it 1, 1, 1. So these nodes doesn't do anything at the moment. They just multiply by 1, but we're gonna change it later because I want to show what I'm trying to achieve. We're gonna have the tiling and offset, and this is gonna be in the tiling. So far, nothing's changed, but if I do this one, you can see it's changed. But they're going to be 1, 1. And what we want a simple noise. And I'm going to change this down to 150. And I'm going to do some contrast in on this one. I'm going to do more of it. And if I just plug it in the second one like this, And we do a float smudge noise. Smudge noise. And this one's going to be a slider, 0 to 1. And if we now add it, I'm going to save it and show it in the editor, easier to see. This actually do some pretty nice thing. It looks a little bit more alive. So you can see here, way too much, of course, but you know, just a tiny bit. And yeah, and also because it only needs a tiny bit, we can clamp this slider to maybe 0.1, 0.2. So in here, smudge noise, I clamp it to 0.2. And also, what I want to show you is, if we look here, the noise is kind of scaled 1 to 1. But I do want to change that to in the eye. So if you see here, it gets more squeezed in this direction, because I feel that in some things you can see in woods, if you look at it, you can see these kind of reflection shapes and so forth. So I'm going to keep it like this, save it, and see how it turns out in the shader. Well, shader, but in the scene. So now you can see we have this noise, but it's scaled in this direction. So if we just add a little bit, you can see it adds some really nice details, right? So because of the weather, when trees grow, they have different grow speed and so forth. So this makes it looks more alive. Sweet. Let's see what we have here. And so we have the smudge noise, group smudge noise. And we have, well, actually, let's add some small noise to this. So I would say it looks pretty good as it is now. And we can have this UV scale, you know. But I want to add just a little bit more noise to this. Maybe here we can do the wiggle size and more. And we can change it down. But of course you need to look more in the further distance to decide what's good. So anyway, let's go on. So I just want to add some noise, and then I feel this one is finished. So here I want to do simple noise. And I want to use this remap node. I really like this one. It's going to be, the input's going to be 0 to 1, as it is here, 0 to 1. And if we do multiply here, you can see it adds stuff here. So I'm going to do like this so we can watch the as we work a little bit here. Come on. So if I save it now, there is nothing going on here because we haven't plugged it in. So if we plug it in and do save, you see now it's working, but the noise is too big. So let's do 4000, save it. Yeah, now you see it's more smaller noise. Ah, it looks really nice. Looks like an really dark oak material. But we're gonna, you see, if we, this is 0, but we remap, so the 0 value will go between 0.8, I don't know, 54, 0.54 to 1, save it. And now it's just a tiny bit of noise in it. And yeah, isn't this good? I find it looks really nice. So here you have it. This is a procedural wood, and you can have it in as big scene. Why can't I choose anything? I don't know, something happened. I can't select any game objects. That's weird. But it doesn't really matter because we have it finished. So I really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. And if you're curious about this table, it is Hodini Asset. And this Hodini Asset is going to be a tutorial. And I actually changed the material now because I have hard coded it in. But if you're curious about this asset and how you can create tables like this and make it really maybe a butcher table, round or square feet and you leg thickness. You know, if you're curious about this one, I'm gonna have a tutorial about that. This one too. And this is the material that we made today. So I really hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching.